Here are my full card predictions for UFC Fight Night Baku. Starting off with Hamdy, Abdelwahab, and Mohammed Usman. Neither of them are that good. Hamdy, I think he probably should have lost his last fight against Jamal Pogues. Got a takedown in that fight, but majority was just outstruck at a distance. I feel like Mohammed Usman is probably going to win this fight. I mean, I know he was getting taken down by Thomas Peterson, but Thomas Peterson is actually an okay wrestler. And who else did he lose to? Myktybek. I mean, that's maybe not the best look, but it's okay. Myktybek's ranked, isn't he? I don't think Hamdy's that good. Like, I really don't. And why is he still in the UFC? He's a proven steroid user. And he just keeps getting these close decisions. I don't know why, but I just think Mohammed Usman is a little better. Or do I? He's not that good, but neither is Hamdy. Don't be surprised if they give this to Hamdy, but I could see Mohammed Usman by decision here. Tagir, Ulanbekov, and Azat, Maksum. I'm gonna go with Tagir. More preparation. He was supposed to fight Kyoji Horiguchi, but he pulled out, and Azat Maksum stepped in. I know he's had some time, about 3 weeks or so. He's either had 2 UFC appearances or just one. His last fight, he lost to Charles Johnson. He was 15-0 before that, 15-1 now. And, I mean, Charles Johnson is a pretty good striker, but maybe Maksum's striking's a little better. Tagir's grappling could be better, but he was also getting taken down by Clayton Carpenter, so yeah, but I'm gonna say Tagir Ulanbekov by decision. Irina, Alekseeva, and Klaudia, Sygula. I'm gonna go with Irina, Alekseeva. I know she's a little older, 34. Sygula's 26. But Sygula, a little too good looking, a little too much woman-like. I think Alekseeva's gonna win this fight. And Daria, Zhelezniakova, and Melissa Mullins. Melissa Mullins beat both Irina Alekseeva and Klaudia Sygula. And she can get takedowns. She can. And Daria has been taken down in the past and submitted. I know Eileen Perez is pretty strong for women's bantamweight, but I'll say Melissa Mullins probably gets us to the ground and gets a decision. Ismail, Naurdiev, and Junyong Park. Going with Iron Turtle on this one. I'm confident in this one. Because Naurdiev, I know he showed up against... He didn't show up. He beat Bruno Silva in his last fight by decision. I mean, at this point, Bruno Silva, I think he's just not the same. So a finish would have been better from Naurdiev. But that was in Abu Dhabi too. He really had every advantage in that fight. And he's pretty young, around 28 now or something. Junyong Park, I know he looks 50, but he's 34. He's not that old. And he's pretty crafty. Beat Brad Tavares in his last fight. Cracked him a few times. Got some takedowns, which is pretty impressive over Brad Tavares. So, and fight before that, I believe it was against Andre Muniz. He lost, but he should have won that fight. And I'm just going to say Junyong Park gets a good decision when hurting Naurdiev a couple of times, stuffing his takedowns, getting a few of his own maybe, or could be getting a submission in this fight. I'm going to say Junyong Park by decision or potentially a finish. Seokhyeon Ko and Oban Elliott. I'm going with Oban Elliott here. I know he hasn't been proven to be that fast in the past, but against Basil Hafez, he was doing pretty good. I would have liked to see Basil Hafez shoot, but he didn't. He didn't shoot once in that fight. And eventually Elliott knocked him out. Rountree overhand right. And Seokhyeon, I'm pretty sure he's lost a few by KO. He got one win on the Contender Series, now he's in the UFC. I just think Oban Elliott's much better. I think he's going to get a TKO probably second round, I'd say. Mohammed, Naimov, and Bogdan, Grad. I got Naimov in this fight. Just a lot more skilled, more technical. Bogdan, Grad, he's a brawler. He can impose his will, and he's aggressive. He beat Lucas Alexander, which Lucas Alexander could have done a lot better. He was having a good start, but then eventually just got TKO'd on the ground. I don't think Grad is taking down Naimov. Awfully couldn't do it. I'm not saying Awfully is such a great grappler, but they're pretty similar in skill, and Awfully's he's a lot more technical on the feet. Probably better punches. Grad, they could get scrappy. That would benefit Grad, but I got Naimov winning this fight. I'm gonna say probably knockout or submission after dropping Grad. I'm gonna say Naimov by TKO. I'd say round 3 maybe. Let's move on to Nazim, Sadykhov, and Nikolas Motta. I got Sadykhov in this fight. Taller by quite a bit. I think he's about 5'10" or so. 5'10" to 5'9". Nikolas Motta does not look 5'9", but he fights a lot more compact, a lot lower down. Sadykhov's a bit taller. He's going to get some nice kicks. I know he hasn't... In the... Ismail Bonfim fight, it was a pretty slow start, but eventually he got a question mark kick, hurt Bonfim really badly, and got a doctor stoppage. He also got a doctor stoppage over Evan Elder. Same with... No, that was a draw against Vyacheslav Borshev. I'm pretty sure it was a cut and then went to a draw. So, I know Motta's, he's got some power. Beat Tom Nolan, knocked him out. Tom Nolan doesn't have the greatest chin, but it's still good that he finished a guy like Tom Nolan. Sadykhov, I think he's a little too fast in this fight. He's going to have some good defense, probably crack Motta a few times with straight punches. Could get that high kick up there. I think Nazim's going to get a good decision win or a knockout. Let's move on to Tofiq Musayev and Myktybek Oralbay. Myktybek Oralbay should win this fight. He really should. Tofiq, I know he's got a pretty good record, 22-5, I believe, coming off a win over Koji Takeda, something like that. Eventually, later in the fight, dropped him with a right hand, got some ground and pound. Also got a few takedowns in that fight. I don't believe Tofiq is taking down Myktybek Oralbay. I know Rebecki did it a few times and almost finished Oralbay, but if those punches that Rebecki was landing aren't finishing Oralbay, I doubt Tofiq is doing it. And Rebecki actually throws some combinations. Tofiq, on the feet, his arsenal is mainly some leg kicks, maybe a teep, and a right hand. he doesn't have a very deep tool bag on him. I doubt he's taking down Orelbai. I think Orelbai is probably going to get this one done by a fraud-checking decision. That's what I'm going to say. Okay, featured fight, Curtis Blades and Rizwan Kuniev. Whew, looks like we're finally going to get this one. It's been scheduled about, I don't know how many times, about 4 times or so. But I got Curtis Blades in this fight. Don't really know why this fight is happening in the first place, why they want to rebook it so much. Rizwan debuting. In his UFC debut, he's getting top 5 Curtis Blades. Doesn't make much sense. Maybe it's because of the history of Renan Fajeda. He beat Renan Fajeda, decision, took him down, laid on him for a bit, held his own on the feet, and then he was tested, and there were he failed the test for about 5 banned substances or something. So, isn't that a no contest now? I think it's a no contest, and they still see it as a guy who beat Renan Fajeda, so it's a better look for the UFC if Curtis Blades knocked him out, because Francis Ngannou just beat Renan Fajeda. It doesn't make too much sense, but I got Curtis Blades winning this fight. I could see, he could knock him out, but I really could see a lackluster decision win from Curtis Blades. I don't know if this is going to be a great fight. I think this might get kind of boring, but it might have some big moments, so I'm definitely going with Curtis Blades. By decision or knockout. More likely knockout, but I really think we could get a stinker here. Okay. Co-main event, Rafael Fiziev and Ignacio Bahamondes. I'm going to go with Rafael Fiziev. I know it's a bit worrying. He's lost 3 in a row at lightweight. Well, it was the injury. TKO lost to Gamrot. Kicked him, tore his MCL or ACL or something in his leg, got snapped in that fight. And then fight had to get stopped. Last fight, came in on short notice versus Gaethje. I thought he was going to catch him, but Gaethje won. It was short notice on. Fiziev was doing very good. I know he got dropped, but give him more preparation, maybe he wins that fight. And there was the first Gaethje fight where he lost, but he had a good argument to win that fight. And, Gaethje, I know he gets sloppy, but he is a very proven lightweight. I doubt Ignacio's beating Justin Gaethje right now. He could. He is 6'3" at lightweight, which is a pretty insane frame. It's going to be interesting to see how Fiziev tackles that. UFC website's not loading right now, but I know he's 6'3" at 155, 75-inch reach. That's pretty good. Not too bad for Fiziev. He's got a 71-inch reach. 71.5, 75.5. I'm off 0.5, but 5'8" versus 6'3". It's going to be interesting to see how this goes. But Fiziev's, he's definitely got the better punches. I know, Ignacio, maybe you're worried about Fiziev getting caught by that step back right hand. I know he caught Manuel Torres with it, but Manuel Torres actually just sprinted into the right hand and got dropped. And then he did it again and got TKO'd. Not great fight IQ there from Manuel Torres. But yeah, Fiziev, he's gonna get defense. Probably gonna win the first round because it's a 3-rounder. I don't know if he's gonna slow down as much. I don't think so. And he's got a full camp for this one. Also, a massive crowd advantage. He's like a hero in Azerbaijan. And yeah, Ignacio, he could win the 3rd round, I'd say. I could also see a big knockout from Fiziev. maybe Bahamondes could get a knockout, but I'm gonna say Fiziev wins this one by decision, potentially a TKO. Now, Jamal Hill, Khalil Rountree, Jr. main event. So, I'm pretty sure that the direction where we're going is that the UFC probably wants Khalil to win this fight. He's a favorite, minus 155. He got custom shorts, which is interesting. So he's gotten some good treatment from the UFC. That's for sure. And a title fight in his last fight. Didn't make the most sense, but it was a good fight with Pereira. He won the first 2 rounds, but eventually just didn't really have the explosivity later in the fight and got finished in the 4th round. Pereira kind of styled on him there, but you know, I get it. And it's not like Jamal Hill did much better against Pereira. He got caught in round 1 and KO'd. But, you know, it was like a who's gonna catch who in that fight versus Pereira and Hill. Like, we were worried for Pereira. Like, don't forget that. And with a shorter opponent, this is gonna be better for Hill. He's gonna have the high kicks available. I could see some nice teeps to the body. Some good 1-2s. Yeah, he's gonna have to keep this fight on the outside. High kicks would work good for him. And also, I'd say what he did against Yuri, clinching up, getting that Muay Thai clinch and some knees to the body, that would be really good. Khalil, what he's got to do is, he's got to chop the leg kicks, outside leg kicks. I know he doesn't use them that much, but they're a really good tool for him. Like, he has really good leg kicks, but sometimes he just doesn't use them. Like against Anthony Smith, one of the blueprints to beating Anthony Smith is chopping at the legs. He didn't throw many in that fight. I know he eventually knocked out Anthony Smith, but why in round 3? I think he could do it in round 1. And he was getting stung by Anthony Smith by straight shots at times. And against Hill, who is taller, rangier, more powerful. I know, not crazy power like was once saw, but he's got some good power. Maybe Rountree has more power, more explosive, but I don't know if power scaling's the way to go. And I doubt this fight hits the ground. I need to say that. So this is going to be a good striking match. I think a finish will occur. I am going to go with Jamal Hill, probably around round 4 or 5. That's what I'm going to say. Some good knees to the body. Eventually, with some volume and stinging shots, just sends Khalil to the ground. So, you know, I know Khalil could win, but I think Jamal Hill gets this one done. I really do. Khalil, I know the way he fought against Pereira, he doesn't normally fight that way. He kind of more outpoints people on the outside as a shorter fighter, which is it's a pretty unique thing to do. But Jacoby was beating him, like, arguably every round. I know Khalil could have won the 3rd, but I don't know how he won that fight. Jamal Hill should get this one done. I'm going to say TKO in the later rounds. So, those are my predictions.